What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, man. On this channel we talk about fragrances and fashion, so looking good and smelling great is what we do. So if that interests you, I invite you to go ahead and click the subscribe button. And take another quick second to go ahead and hit that bell icon as well to make sure you get notified every time I upload new content on the channel. Hold on a second, I think I need to sip of my coffee really quick. There we go, breakfast of champions. So guys, on today's video, we're gonna be talking about 10 fragrances in my collection that are low cost, but high compliment. So that means that the investment that you have to make into these fragrances to smell good and potentially get you some compliments is gonna be a very, very low risk in this particular proposition. Now, if anybody ever told you that it costs a whole lot of money to smell good or to find a fragrance that smells good and get compliments, then let me inform you, they were lying. And although I don't really like to call people liars, I'm just saying it is what it is, man. I know we have all kind of collectors out here. Some people only like niche fragrances and say that anything that's designer is cheap and synthetic and all this kind of stuff. And then we have some people that thinks that people are crazy for spending a lot of money on niche fragrances. Look, I love all kinds of fragrances, whether cheap, expensive, it doesn't matter. I like fragrances that smell good. So again, this fragrance list today is just going to feature some of the ones that are less expensive. As synthetic as some of these fragrances honestly may be, they smell good and they get compliments. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, then I invite you to stick around. Keep it locked right here. I'll be right back with 10 fragrances that are low cost, but high compliment. So keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this list, starting with the number 10 spot. And this fragrance comes from the house of English Laundry, and this one is called Oxford Blue. Oxford Blue. Now, if you pay close attention to the color of this bottle, this will tell you what this fragrance smells like. This fragrance is a clone of Versace Eros. So Eros at this point in time, you can honestly get that for a decent price, but this is even cheaper than Versace Eros. You can find this one pretty much in rack stores around the country or online for under 20 bucks. And again, it's a highly complimented fragrance. Just like Versace Eros was a fragrance that got a lot of compliments. You know, it has that mint, that green apple, the tonka bean dry down. Same thing that you get here. Now, honestly, this one doesn't perform as well as Eros, but it's the same scent DNA for under 20 bucks, and it's just one of those scent DNAs that people compliment. So the 10th spot on this list goes to this one from the house of English Laundry. This is Oxford Blue. Guys, coming in at the 9th spot on this list, this fragrance is probably as synthetic as they come, but trust me, it smells absolutely fantastic. This one is called Thallium. This is called Thallium, and I will tell you now, I'm on my second bottle of this stuff, man, because I can just spray and go. And man, this stuff it just smells great. It has a nice fruity opening. I think apple, pineapple, all kinds of fruits are in the opening of this fragrance, but the dry down is so interesting because it has amber, patchouli, and musk. So the dry down is very much a contrast to the opening, but as loud and synthetic as this fragrance may smell, trust me, it gets compliments. And this is another one you can find for definitely under 20 bucks. So I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about this fragrance. If not, put your nose on it. This one is called Thallium. All right, guys, coming in at the 8th spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Missoni, and this is Missoni for Men. Missoni for Men. Now, I remember when this fragrance first came out in 2017. I think I was in Dillard's maybe, and the sales associate let me smell this fragrance. And again, it wasn't anything that I was blown away by because the scent DNA was very familiar. And what it smelled like was Bleu de Chanel. It's about 50–60% close to what you get from Bleu de Chanel, but it's just a nice scent DNA. Not one that I would pay full asking price for, but now you can find this at discounters for under $40. And at that price point, I think this is a great fragrance to have in your collection, because again, it's gonna kind of give you about 40 to 50, maybe 60% of what Bleu de Chanel gives you, but of course at a fraction of the cost. And because of course it is very hard to find Chanel fragrances discounted, this may be one, if you don't want to invest in Bleu de Chanel, that you may want to take a look at, because just like Bleu de Chanel, this does get a lot of compliments from the house of Missoni. This is Missoni for men. All right, coming in at the 7th spot on this list, this one comes from the house of Bentley, and this is Bentley Silver Lake. Bentley Silver Lake. Now, this fragrance does remind me a lot of Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Now, I have never smelled Acqu Di Gio Essenza. That's a discontinued fragrance that's hard to find. And when you do find it, most folks are wanting 160, 200 bucks for it. I'm cool on that. If I never smell it, then I'll be okay without smelling it. I'm just not gonna fork over that amount of money for that fragrance. But I have smelled Profondo, and this does remind me a lot of Acqu Di Gio Profondo. So maybe Profondo is kind of like come in and replace Essenza. I don't know, because I've never smelled it, but obviously if a lot of people are saying this smells like Essenza as well, and to me it smells like Profondo, maybe they smell something alike. I don't know. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. This is a nice, highly complimented fragrance. Anything that has that kind of Acqu Di Gio DNA, it's gonna pull in some compliments. So check this one out if you haven't yet, from the house of Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Silver Lake. All right, coming in at the 6th spot on this list, this comes from the house of Dunhill, and this one is Dunhill Desire Red. Dunhill Desire Red. This one, of course, again, is a fragrance that you can find for under 30 bucks. And what you get for under 30 bucks, I really vouch for this one. It smells a lot like Lafayette Street. Now, I did have Lafayette Street in my collection before I had this, but this one did come out first. So if you want to get an idea of what the Lafayette Street DNA smells like, put your nose on this one. This, as well as the Desire Blue, smell very similar to me. But man, this is a nice one, a nice compliment getter for the price. So check this one out again from the house of Dunhill. This is Desire Red. Coming in at the 5th spot on this list, this one comes from the house of Mont Blanc, and this one is Mont Blanc Explorer. Mont Blanc Explorer. Now, I did a full review on this one when it first came out. And of course, you know what this one is, guys. It is an inspired Creed Aventus fragrance. Now, to me, this one is nowhere near as close as Club de Nuit Intense Mans, Pineapple Vintage Intense. It doesn't get close to it like that, but you can tell that it was inspired by the Aventus DNA. Even when you look at the bottle, you know, this kind of looks like the Aventus box. You know, it looks, you can tell it definitely was inspired, but, you know, again, it's not the same thing. It does get you kind of in the mindset, but again, a fraction of the cost. You know, just like most people, when they talked about this fragrance when it was released, it didn't take long for this to hit the bargain bins, and at the price point now that you can find this for is definitely one that I highly recommend that you check out. From the house of Mont Blanc, this is Mont Blanc Explorer. All right, coming in at the 4th spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Abercrombie and Fitch, and this is Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct Together. First Instinct Together. Now, guys, this is just a really fun, fruity, floral, fun fragrance right here from the house of Abercrombie and Fitch. And guys, it just smells good. Again, just like when I talked about thallium, they kind of put me in the mindset of one another in the way that it's composed. It's just a nice, really nice, fruity opening that just smells great. And the average person is going to respond to this kind of DNA. That's what most fragrances from these houses, especially like Abercrombie and Fitch, they just put out mass appealing scents. It's not anything that a niche lover is going to smell and really be drawn to. But again, the average person is going to smell this and say you smell fantastic when you wear this scent. And that's all it is, man. So, you know, again, highly complimented fragrance. Nothing special, but it does get the compliments from the house of Abercrombie and Fitch. This is First Instinct Together. All right, guys, coming in at the 3rd spot. I don't remember if I said the last one was the 3rd spot or not, but that was the 4th spot. So coming in at the 3rd spot on this list, if I did say that, from the house of Armaf, this one is called Milestone. Milestone. Now, this one has been out for about a year and a half now, and of course, now you can find this in for a discounted price for under 50 bucks. And it smells just like Millesime Imperial. Again, we talk about it's somewhere in that 93 to 95% close to Creed's Millesime Imperial. And I'm talking about the older batches that really performed well. This stuff gets the compliments just like Millesime Imperial, because again, it is a replica of the Millesime Imperial from Creed. So guys, if you're looking for compliments, especially now with the summertime being right around the corner, this is one I highly recommend you put your nose on. From the House of Armand, this one is called Milestone. All right, coming in at the number 2 spot on this list, I've had this fragrance in the collection for a while, and of course, at this point, again, it's been out for a while, so you can find it at a discounted price, but it's just good. From the House of Coach, this is Coach for Men. This is Coach for Men, and anybody that smelled this fragrance will vouch for this. It's just an easy to wear DNA, and people love that pear note in this fragrance. It's just one of those things that draws people in. Easy to wear, mass appeal, and compliment getter. From the House of Coach, again, this is Coach for Men. Guys, and coming in at the number 1 spot on this list, this fragrance comes, again, we're going back to the House of Mont Blanc. This is called Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. So happy to have this one in the collection, man. It reminds me a lot of Jean Paul Gaultier Popeye Eau Fraiche. Those two fragrances smell very, very eerily similar to me. And of course, the Popeye version is discontinued. I know they've come out with Superman and a few others after that, which is pretty much the same fragrance. But the Eau Fraiche versions of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male is what this fragrance smells like. But it's just very, very fresh and invigorating. So when it's hot outside, you throw this stuff on and you are winning. From the House of Mont Blanc, again, this one is called Legend Spirit. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today, as I gave you 10 cheap, inexpensive fragrances, so we have low cost and high compliments. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos, because of course I know it could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, if you don't mind, take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I am your guy, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.